All right.
Whatever, really.
I think we might be live in the WP Builds group, so you can just go and check if you guys see it in there.
Yeah. Nathan Wrigley's live now in WP Builds. Yes.
Cool. Let's see.
I'm going to share it.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Ready to go, guys?
Yep.
We're live anyway, I think. So
have no choice
hey,
now.
Matt Davis, can you actually hear us? I see you making a complimentary comment there. Thanks. See if he replies. Says Paul Lacey smells of cabbage. Right.
No, I do. I had cabbage today, so maybe it's me.
Okay, everyone. I think that we are live. I'll just wait to see if anyone in the Facebook group can confirm if they can see or hear us. Oh, brilliant. Matt can hear us. You can probably see us now as well. I'll just wait a few seconds to see if our faces appear on the live stream. It's about 20 seconds delay or something.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
it. Yeah, there's it.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. It looks like it's working. All right. So, hello, everyone. This week, Nathan Wrigley is at Alton Towers. So, he's left his whole empire in my capable hands. So, the first news is that Dicky Birds has acquired WP Builds for $30. and for one day. So I've hijacked all his affiliate accounts. So if you all want to go and buy some stuff today, it has to be today. All deals are off as of today. Get some money in my account for this. So hopefully this all works out today. We're using a totally new platform that we don't normally use. We normally use Ecamm Live and Skype, whereas today we're using StreamYard. So hopefully we're streaming to the YouTube group and also to the Facebook group. It looks like we're in the Facebook group, so that's really cool. So if you want to know, Nathan's at Alton Towers today, which is kind of like a theme park with lots of rides and ghost trains and roller coasters and all that sort of stuff. Very popular in the UK. And so to get started, I just wanted to introduce all of the guests today. So I'm going to try and do what Nathan always does and point in the right direction. So to begin with, I'm going to introduce Alex Calinov. So Alex, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, hi everyone. Hi Paul, thanks for inviting me. I have a small web design agency, Brilliant Digital, so same as majority of us, I guess, build websites, sell business owners. And I work a lot with funnels, conversions, things like that in advertising. That's pretty much all I do.
Awesome. So going clockwise. There we go. Piccia Neri of Design for Geeks.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Women on the show. It's a great, yes. Very exciting. I just can, if I may take the opportunity to tell all the WordPress women out there that you can apply, you can come on here. You just need to tell Nathan, basically. So yeah, it'd be really nice to see, to get representation. Anyway, apart from that, I do design mostly. I work with WordPress, but I do design and user experience. It's my fixation at the moment because I think that without UX, there's not much point. I am working at the moment mainly as a consultant and doing workshops and courses. And thank you very much for having me here.
Cool. Great to have you. Finally, we've got Anchen Roux from Simply Digital Design.
Hello. I'm really excited being here. It's my first time on WP Builds, and it's actually, I just told them it's my first time on a live. So yeah, it's really good. As Paul said, I run Simply Digital Design here in South Africa, in Pretoria. It's a small agency, and we serve mostly photographers and creative studios and agencies. That's it.
Cool. Thank you very much. And I'm fortunate that I know all three of you as well. I've pretty well. So it's cool to see a bunch of friends on here today, which usually it is as well. So it's nice,
Yeah.
nice little group.
Good to see you.
Yeah, cheers, dude. Paul here from the Dicky Bird Studio. I'm co-founder of an agency in the UK, and I'm also a brand ambassador for RunCloud, which we will maybe mention later on in one of the articles. Okay, so moving on, we do have a slightly different format today that we're going to trial, which is where we're going to skim through some of the smaller items a little bit quicker and maybe talk a little bit more on the community items where there's a few more interest pieces for community and discussion point, really. So we may as well get started. I haven't forgotten anything, have I? I'm not supposed to. No. I will say as well, Anchen, this is your first time doing any kind of streaming. This isn't my first time streaming, but this is my first time pressing the button. And it appeared to work. I've been worried about this all week, last week, actually. So anyway, right, first to get started.
You're a natural, Paul.
Oh, it appears to be working. I just need to not go anywhere near that button that says end broadcast. Yeah. So anyway, our first section is WordPress core, which is where we look at some of the new updates in the WordPress core system itself. And the first item we've got is WordPress 5.3 release candidate 2. So I think we mentioned release candidate 1 last week, and it's a major release. It does have a whole bunch of block editor updates in there. So if you use the Gutenberg plugin, as opposed to just going with the core version of the block editor, then there's a whole bunch of stuff that they've been brewing in the background, which is worth taking a look at. Lots of user interface improvements. Peach, you'll definitely like them if you haven't seen them. Simple thing.
I haven't, yeah.
I haven't. When you move blocks around?
Yeah.
Go on. Yep. When you move blocks around now, as you push up, they slide up, and you see just a nice little animation, which is a huge improvement visually on understanding what you've actually just done, especially if it's a big block. So there's some little things like that and major improvements and stuff. So are you using the block editor much, Piccia?
I haven't had much of a chance because I haven't really done much work with any content-based website recently. So it's just been page builds. So I haven't actually had the chance, but it's something that I really want to do. David Vongris last week when I was on somewhere else, can't remember where, said that there were various things that I would really like. So I wanted to play actually with this release, but I haven't had the time. But yeah, getting really much deeper into Gutenberg is something that I want to do because it looks like it's maturing a lot, isn't it? Is what I've heard. I mean, the gradient are great. Apparently, you'll be able to use gradients, which I don't think is particularly important because unless, how are you gonna make it work with all the other themes? That's not. So it'd be interesting to see, but I think it's one of those little like cool things that people may like, but I don't think it's going to be that useful. But apparently there are lots of other really useful UX things that I will like. So yeah, I look forward to playing with it.
It's a good job you haven't looked at it too much so far, to be honest, because you being a UX person, I think you would be having a lot of problems and a lot of things to say about it up until this point. I think this new release, it's addressed a whole bunch of things. I mean, you have to take the block editor now for what it is, and we have to accept what it is, whether or not we think it was good at the beginning or not good at the beginning. And so now we're just grateful for improvements, I think. So it is a better version to look at, and 100% I noticed the gradient item as well. And out of all the things on the list, I thought, oh, gradients, I look forward to seeing some of those disasters.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or the
there's going to be some beautiful buttons out there that really help grab attention and don't give you some kind of headache at all.
Yeah.
So, anybody else got anything they want to say about release candidate 5.3?
Has anyone used it? Have you used it, Paul?
Yeah, I use it mainly just for my own occasional blog. I've tried out the release candidate. It is better, but I do find that as someone who's classes himself as some kind of professional, apparently. I find it a slower publishing experience than using the old editor, but you can do a lot more with it. But so as time goes on, I think it will improve.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was sort of diplomatically saying, really, because I sort of had a first look and I was like, I'd rather wait, because I think that time is at a premium and I don't want to spend time playing with something that I know is probably not going to do what I need it to. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else anyone got to say on 5.3?
Yeah, there's not specifically on 5.3, still just on the block editor, but we used for the WordCamp website. So we decided to use Gutenberg exclusively, and it was actually quite a good experience because I don't know if you know, but the WordCamp websites are very limited. You've got obviously no page builders and things. So usually it's just a theme, and then you customize through CSS. So it was actually quite fun using the block editor to build the pages. And
for those who don't know, for those who don't know, the WordCamp websites are all multi-site sites. So you have zero autonomy. You just can only do what and you're very restricted. Yeah, so I suppose in that case, pretty good.
That answers a lot of questions I've had about WordCamp websites in the past.
It's so frustrating. I've been working with WordCamp Valencia here in Spain, where I live, and it's as soon as I saw what the website was like, yeah, well, I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to volunteer for something else, not this. It's very limited.
Yeah. That's why they all look the same. With the same.
Sorry, there's a lot you can do with this. But you usually you want to get the site up as soon as possible, and you always think you're going to go back and make it nicer, but because you want to get the speaker call out, and especially with the smaller camps. But
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I don't understand this one at all, so I'm going to hand it over to Piccia. I've read the article. The article's entitled Gutenberg 6.7 introduces storybook and gradient backgrounds. So gradient backgrounds, obviously we've mentioned. Storybook sounds fun, but when I looked into it and delved in, I had no idea what it was after reading the article. So Piccia, if you know something about this other than the gradient backgrounds, I'd love to hear what you got to say about this.
No, I don't. So sorry, I don't, because I looked at it, I read the article, but basically it's a storybook for developers. So it's basically, as far as I understand it, Storybook is a development and testing environment for user interfaces, but it's for developers, which is something I don't do. So basically, it allows developers to create and test components in an isolated environment. So you can develop without the dependencies of whatever platform you're using. So I don't understand. I don't know what it is, because it's a developer's thing. So I have no idea. I was kind of hoping you would know better. I said the gradient is what I looked at and thought agreed, because I read the WP Tavern article on it that basically says it would be probably more interesting to get theme support rather than add a feature that is a bit. I don't know what the decision, why they decided to make the gradient available. Maybe there was a request for it. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, actually, it's in the plugin. It's in the Gutenberg plugin, which doesn't mean it will make it through to core. That's basically what they're using the plugin for these days. So they will try out stuff in the plugin, see how it's received, and then some of those features that start off in the plugin as kind of experimental things end up in core at some point, or sometimes not. So it's quite a funny article that's talking about something super complicated to me anyway, this whole storybook thing, which feels like some kind of GitHub type thing or something, I'm not sure, and gradient buttons.
Yes, exactly. So I thought that storybook would be maybe a way of, I don't know if anyone's ever used Scrivener. Scrivener is like a writing app that allows you to store ideas. It's very cool. It's actually quite complicated, But I thought that maybe it would mean that because Gutenberg is content production, basically, it would allow you to have stories to collect your content in a storybook in Gutenberg, but not at all. So it was like I was crushed. It's like, this is not something I understand. Yeah.
So
right.
I don't know if sorry. So I don't know if I've got it everything right, but it looks like it's a way of objective of making it objects. So making it an object orientated way of developing. So you create your blog, or specifically for Gutenberg now, you create your blog without like an object, and then that can be used by, so you don't use the dependencies of WordPress from the start. It's almost the other way around. So yeah, but I also just had a quick look, and so because especially with things like React and where it's loose from WordPress, so it's like front end, so you don't really need it. And then if you develop it like that, it might just make the user experience better, because you don't have to think about those things all the time.
That's what I gathered, but that's
I think it should be our official understanding of that article. I think you summed that up pretty well there. So let's go with that one. It's nothing to do with creating stories. It is what you said. So that's cool. Right, we're going to skip over to the plugins and themes section of the show now. So the first one on our list is, I wanted to hand over to Alex, because you are a digital marketer, so SEO and stuff like that is on your radar. And there is an article called WordPress Meet Ahrefs. So if you want to explain what this is about.
Yeah, so obviously they've made an announcement recently. They're going to introduce a plugin for WordPress, which, to be honest, after Ahrefs being in the top for so long, I thought it's about time they bring something to the table. So as I'm reading through the article, just a few things. What will plugin do? Pull key Ahrefs SEO metrics and data into WordPress. So apparently, just to start with, they're saying that this is just going to be for their customers only. And I don't really, personally, this is just my personal view, I don't really see that much kind of like it's not like a wow factor. Initially, when I saw the article, I was like, wow, this is cool. But then all it says is just going to pull some SEO metrics into the actual WordPress dashboard, which is just pretty much the same thing. You don't have to have two tabs open in the same time. You can look at them from within your WordPress. So it can be a cool thing to start with, but I'm really, really hoping it can be developed to go more in depth in the actual, I don't know, how WordPress works, backlinks, or perhaps some sort of factor of or optimizing the actual content for SEO. So yeah, but again, they don't really provide too many details. Apparently, December 2019 is going to be the release date, so we'll just have to see when they're going to release this and play around with it.
So what does Ahrefs or Ahrefs do? Does it help you find keywords?
So
like that?
Primarily Ahrefs, they were known for really, really good kind of like a backlink profiling tool. So when it comes to SEO, obviously we have the on-page SEO, but a lot of the work is done off-page. So again, we're web designers. We probably understand a little bit about SEO. You don't have to have a million links to go back to your website, but you just have to analyze your competition, have a look at what they have, and you try to get a little bit more. So that's just a good way to do your competitor research, market research. So you can use a tool like Ahrefs to analyze those websites, see where the links are coming from, and perhaps use that data to get some of your own links. So obviously you can monitor your own links, and from there it kind of started to obviously I don't know the whole journey. I've only started to use this probably about a year or two ago, and from there you can also start doing some keywords research, which again is very, very useful, because as some people are, as content creators, sometimes we think, okay, this might be useful for our customers, but we don't really know until we actually have some data to back that up. So overall, it's backlinks and keyword research. This is basically how I use it.
Cool. So what I think is, it seems that on the article, there's just two pictures of two plug sockets going together. One is WordPress, one is Ahrefs. So I guess this is probably the beginning of something bigger down the line. But one of the nice things, I suppose, is if you can, we've got so many tools, haven't we? It's like if you log into your WordPress site and see some data that you can action straight away, whereas you wasn't planning to log into your Ahrefs account today or something, you might see something that gives you an opportunity. I guess that's the beginning of it. But it's cool though, because I know that these are two big names in the whole industry, so coming together.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I'm really curious. I mean, December is just around the corner. It's the C word, Christmas and all that. So we'll see what Santa was going to bring.
Nice. I like that one. Anyone else got anything to say on WordPress meets Ahrefs? No. Okay, I'm going to skim through some of the other ones and just stop me if there's anything you want to say on them at all. The next one is that Views Beta, which is by Toolset, have released their new beta of Views, which, from what I understand, has the ability to create archive pages within the block editor. So if anyone's hasn't used Views or Toolset before, it's something similar to Pods or something similar to Advanced Custom Fields. And I used to use it a long time ago. I've still use it from time to time. Yeah, it's really powerful. It used to have a really hardcore user interface that was really confusing. It's improved a lot now. It was, yeah. You could, if you came back to a website and you hadn't used it for a while, you're like, what is going on in here?
Yeah, it was so hard, and actually, it was because also there's a number of different ways that you can achieve a similar result, and it was hard. But I used it as a non-developer before Beaver Themer existed, or before I realized that I could use pods. It was amazing. I was able to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do, and to really customize, create completely bespoke websites. But it was hard to use, and I've got a lifetime. Subscription. I've got it for life. But I think that for more complex things, like if I were, for instance, to build a classified sites, Toolset is your answer. For simpler things like to build an archive page, why wouldn't I just use Beaver Themer? I think so. But for more complex things, it still is very, very relevant and very useful. It's super powerful, really, really powerful tool.
I'm sure have you used it at all?
I think when I started looking at Toolset, that's when Beaver Themer was just released. I was debating whether I should buy this or another. So I agree with Piccia. I think when Beaver Themer came out, for the kind of work I was doing, this would have been perfect. Toolset was a bit of an overkill. But then again, even tools like Beaver Themer, there is only so much you can do, because all you're doing, yes, you're having control over that page, but you're still limited in terms of what modules and things like that you can use on the page. So I'm assuming that's where something like Toolset, it can be quite good.
Well, yeah, I'm saying Beaver Theme. Sorry, still, obviously, you need a custom post types kind of tool anyway. That Toolset is more complicated than others. Sorry, Anchen.
No. I also just wanted to say, also, I had to do a classified site, and so I was looking at Toolset first, but then I decided on MetaBox, because MetaBox was just a little bit more. It's a little bit more developer friendly, and it's got less of the overhead, and also it integrated very well with Thema and Beaver Builder. So yeah, I decided on that.
Yeah. I mean, if I think of, I remember building an e-commerce site with Toolset and Beaver Builder. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy I didn't have to do that anymore. But I'm not dissing Toolset, because Toolset is an amazing tool, and it goes very, 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 very far. I mean, you could build Facebook with Toolset. I'm exaggerating, but you can get really, really, you can do very complex things. So I think that you choose it for whatever is, depending on the level or difficulty of your job, really, of the project. Yeah.
Cool. I'm the same as you, Piccia. used to use it for very complex things, and then I pretty much stopped using it when Beaver Thema came out. And then over time, they've improved toolset a lot. And from time to time, I take a look and think, oh, you know what? I would love to build a site with toolset again. You know, the sort of going in a bit deeper sort of thing, and feeling less of a fraudster. Because you have to do some code in it, you know. So, but not loads, but markup
you
stuff.
You definitely,
Anyway, moving on, we have a new update to the page builder framework, which is now on version 2.1.1. A couple of quick new options: option to add custom mobile logo, SEO press integration for breadcrumbs. This is an exciting one. Added an edit icon to logos in the customizer, so I'm very happy about that. And then some other stuff for in terms of hooks. We've got some new hooks, open and close end of content, and we also have some default unit for submenu font sizes now pixels if not specified specifically. So I guess this is a lot of stuff based on community feedback. And here's something else. It says theme text domain was not loaded properly, so that's a fix there. So I don't actually use page builder framework, but I use my beloved GeneratePress. If GeneratePress headquarters offices and servers exploded tomorrow, I would switch to page builder framework. I don't know you use page builder framework, but it is an awesome theme. It's not sure if anyone uses it here.
No,
I've played with it. It's what do you use, Anchen?
Also GeneratePress.
Yeah, I think it must be very similar to GeneratePress. It's that we were having a conversation the other week about how in GeneratePress as well as Astra, you have to jump when you're, for instance, using colors. You have color is a separate section, so you have to, if you're working on the headings in a customizer, you then have to go and find the color, and then I found out that page builder framework is built in such a way that you don't have to do that. When you set your headings, you have everything in the same place. I'm like, that is so clever. Can we please have that everywhere? Because although I understand why you would have color separate, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't want to, if I'm setting the headings, surely I want to do it all in the same place, I think.
But they've changed it now. I mean, when I started using, I started with Beaver Thema, right? And I was used to having everything about that thing, heading, whatever, in one place. And then I switched to Astra. And with Astra, it was the case that you have all the typography here, you have all your colors here. And I got used to that, which after a while, it was okay, because I know if I need to do everything typography-wise, I would start from there and do everything and then move to colors and so on. But now they actually went back to how other themes are. So to be honest, it is a little bit confusing. It takes a bit to adjust, but now you have everything in one place. You have the heading, you have the typography, colors, and everything you might want to customize.
I was working on a website today and I didn't notice that. I thought I had to I'll check. Okay, I'll check. Well, that's the good, because
I don't know
prefer
exactly when they released the update, but I know it was maybe like a month or two ago they've released their new, and they've kind of restructured things.
Great. Well, that's good to hear.
We're talking about Astra or page builder framework, is that, Alex?
Sorry, that was Astra. That was
Astra. Yeah, I did hear that there was a big update to that one as well. Cool. Okay, so the next plugins announcements we've got, I'm going to group a few of these together apart from one of them that, Piccia, you want to talk about. So there's some updates for module add-on packs for some of our favorite page builders. Some of them are for Beaver Builder, some of them for Elementor. And if we go through these, we've got Power Pack for Beaver Builder has some new modules. It's got a new sitemap module, breadcrumbs module, and a category grid. Just want to mention the category grid one. That's a really cool one, because I don't think we've ever really had the ability to produce a list of categories in a, so query WordPress and say, I want a list of all the subcategories of news or something like that, and then have them, come up with a feature image and a link through to. That was something you could have done with Toolset quite easily, but it's always been a problem, I think, in Beaver Thema and possibly, I don't know, Elementor as well. But we've got it now. If you've got Power Pack, you can do that now. They've also got a a special holiday edition that they added after this one. Alex, do you want to explain this one briefly?
Yeah, I mean, the coupon code, the coupon module is quite cool. Same with the category, like I said. This is one thing. I'm a big Power Pack fan, you know. Same with Ultimate Beaver Builder. But anyway, we'll go into that later. So one thing I like about them is the majority of the stuff they release are unique, right? So you don't really see that category thing anywhere. And the coupon code is again similar. So if you ever looked for a coupon code on the internet and you land on this website where you see something, click here to see the code, and you click there and then suddenly you see the code or the percentage. That's exactly what this coupon code does. So I guess it can be quite a useful thing, especially with the season, the holidays and everything coming soon, to perhaps have a pop-up or something, and just promote something. I don't know. For me personally, again, I haven't really seen this anywhere in terms of Power Pack, Beaver Builder, or Elementor. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is nice that the two companies, Brainstorm Force and Ideabox, are seeming to start to create some unique add-ons for their products, rather than it appeared to be that they were just copying each other for about 2 years. That one would release one and then the other company would release two more, and it was like this this kind of race going like this all the time. But the releasings that they're putting out at the moment are pretty unique, and this one is super cool. So it's a good time of year with Black Friday coming up, I guess.
Yeah, it's making me want to get Power Pack, because I've got Ultimate add-ons, but I don't have Power Pack, and it is making me want to have it. Or maybe Shiny Object Syndrome.
Yep, there you go. Black Friday is coming up, so
yeah.
We've also got from Brainstorm Force an update, new module for Ultimate add-ons for Beaver Builder, and also for Ultimate add-ons for Elementor, because they do their product for both. And it's a table of contents module. And Piccia, you were particularly happy about this one.
Yeah, I played with it, and I tell you why it's really good, because when you use it, you can work out whether you've completely messed up your headings or not. You just go, when you do it, basically it's done in a really granular way. I mean, you can style obviously, but it asks you what you want to go in the table of contents, heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you have them all there, you can look at the page and go, I got it all wrong. I've got too many headings. I should style that. Sometimes we're really lazy, or I am. Can only speak for myself. But instead of styling copy, I just use the headings, but headings are not styling. So it's really good at highlighting that, and it makes you work out whether the structure of your page makes sense or not. And I was playing with it today on the sales page for my UX course, and I was like, I need to work on this in terms of content. I think it's brilliant for that reason, to really make you work on your content and make sure that it's structured in the right way and that people can understand it clearly. So for that reason, I think that I didn't even go into the styling bit. I was like, oh, this is great stuff. Really, really good. Especially, I mean, if you have a really long blog, for instance, which I have often, it's great. I'm very happy about it. I mean, especially for content creators, I think this is it's a really great addition. Very happy that they've done it. Almost better than the coupon. So yeah, I don't have Power Pack, but I feel it's a
no.
Great
Sorry, Piccia. I feel so excited every time I use the coupon module. You guys have all got it, haven't you? We've all got it. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Piccia, until you've used the coupon module, you just went.
I can't live without it, can I? No.
No, I think Black Friday you're going to have to invest. It's a good investment.
Yeah.
Oh, is that my phone going off? Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with the table of contents, I haven't really had the chance to use it. I like what I've seen so far. The first time I saw this, was yesterday. Yes, when you invited me to the show. It reminded me of Ahrefs. If you go on Ahrefs website, not that I'm promoting them or anything, but I really like their blog, right? When you go on their blog, on the left-hand side, you have something called quick links, which scrolls through as you go down. And basically all you do, you have the headings. Now, to take it from a different point of view, and when it comes to content creating and things like that, a lot of people obviously... we're just too busy to read the whole article.
Oh, yeah,
You might read between the line, and we might just jump to what we're interested in. And instead of the user looking at your article and seeing a really long scrolling bar and perhaps being intimidated by that and leaving away, this way, having that quick link next to you all the time, assuming that's what the table does, you can easily just jump to what you need. So I find this really cool. And I was actually talking to my brother. He's also helping me with the web design, and the first time I saw this, I told him, have a look to see how we can do this. And now, a week after, they released this module, which is really cool.
It is basically what it does. You can just put it in the sidebar, and that's it. You've got your content sorted. Yeah, it's what it is.
Perfect.
So
perfect.
Really
like
cool.
That.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
So the next one we've got is extremely exciting. So WPM UDev's Hustle plugin has now got some new security options. But it hasn't. It's not security options. It's GDPR options. So it looks like they've improved a bunch of stuff in terms of the GDPR abilities to when you're getting new people going into the system and stuff. So there's no new security options. It's just GDPR related stuff. So I'm not exactly sure what it is, but if you do use Hustle, apparently people have been asking for this, and so that's going to be useful for you to get. So we are moving on to deals from this week. Sorry, I just need to run out the room just for 2 seconds. Any chance you guys could go through the latest deals of the week?
Of course.
Yep, right. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah. I don't know. Does anybody use Fluent Forms? I don't know, but I've seen it. I've seen people talking about it in various groups. Apparently, it's lifetime deal for 50% off. So do you use it? Any of you, Alex or Anchen?
I'm not actually. I was planning to ask you guys because I've seen it as well in the last few weeks or so. It's been crazy. So I'm using Gravity Forms, and because this has been so popular lately, I was wondering, if it's worth investing and stopping the other one or not. So I don't know, to be honest. It looks pretty. I like the fact that it looks pretty. So.
And also, it looks like a great lifetime deal. But I mean, Gravity Forms, and actually, can you use it with Stripe? Because I use, for instance, Gravity Forms for me I use it with Stripe. I love Gravity Forms. I mean, there's almost nothing you can't do with Gravity Forms. So I'd have to sit down and check that. Bit by bit that that you can do everything that my beloved Gravity Form does. Because I mean, if it didn't work with Stripe, I'd be like, yeah, well, I can't.
Yeah, I can't see Stripe anywhere. Just some basic one, Impactive Campaign, a few others, and obviously, if you want, you have the Zapier one.
You could, I suppose, you could integrate it with Zapier and make it work anyway. But interesting. I mean, it's very, and I assume that they would keep making it better. But I feel like a lot loyalty to Gravity Forms, and so yeah. And I've met the guys, and they're great. I met them at WordCamp Europe. But anyway, it's great that there is someone else doing a really good product as well. There are quite a few good ones, good forms. But very good. I mean, if I didn't already have Gravity Forms, I think this sounds like a fantastic deal for a lifetime deal.
Yeah, especially if it's lifetime. I mean, Gravity Forms, like you said, it is great. It can help you in so many ways, but obviously you do have to renew that every year. And if you know that if you need something which doesn't really require you to integrate Stripe or more advanced stuff, something like this can be quite useful. I'm looking at their page right now, and I can see that they put a lot of effort in optimizing this. Apparently, they rank second in terms of how fast it is, and in terms of the assets. You have CSS, JavaScript in terms of size. So obviously they're doing something right. So yeah, again, I haven't really used it, but
I think
I'll probably after this call, I'll have a look around, and I'm a sucker for lifetime deals, so I might get it.
Yeah, it looks really good, and also I'm sure they would add with time. And then Blog Vault, I think Blog Vault's great. So 20% off Blog Vault is interesting. I'm wondering whether they would come up with anything even better for Black Friday. good, but 25% off is good, I think.
Yeah.
And the other one that I found, I was looking at live webinar on AppSumo. That's a good deal if you do webinars. I understand that not everybody does them, but it looks like a really good deal.
I'm a fan of Zoom for meetings, and I was actually considering to use this to replace it, if it's possible, basically to have meetings with clients. I'm not sure if it is, but
because Zoom is not brilliant for webinar for a number of reasons. Because I use Zoom as well, so I was looking at. I mean, for the thing is that Zoom for meetings, you can play with the free version of Zoom for meetings, but when it comes to webinars, this has a lot of features that Zoom just doesn't have. And another issue with Zoom is that unless you're on a very expensive subscription, the quality is so crap. It's not very good quality. The maximum resolution is 1280, and it's just not enough. Not, if you create content that you want to resell, it can be, But then, it's another interesting one. We're being tested pre Black Friday, I think. Anchen, what about you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just wondering. Do you do well? You did a live a WordPress summit, but I guess that's a completely different type of software that you use, I imagine.
Yes, I've never done lives, but I have always wanted to. So I've always looked at the software and. I like Zoom as well, but I haven't tried it for the webinar, so it's definitely a good option. I've also looked at it. It's one of those that you always, there's a few that you are, you're not sure, should you get it? Are you going to be like really, really sorry you didn't get it afterwards? So
that's the thing. So I was looking, there's no one looked at the comments, I realized. There's a few, there's one comment from Leo Mindel, Anchen, who says the big question is where will Anchen Le Roux be watching the box this weekend? That's a good question.
Is it we're going to have like a split. So we're going to have, the English versus.
That sounds like fun. And then Chris Hughes is saying that Fluent Forms is great. Chris Hughes is saying Fluent Forms is excellent. Do not miss out on the deal, basically.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't integrate with Stripe just yet, but it's in the roadmap soon. So that's quite exciting.
Yeah, so quite good. And then similar content I didn't look at. Did anyone look at that? SEO optimization. That's your is that your
I had a quick look at it, to be honest. I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously, when it comes to this kind of stuff like AppSumo, I'm a big fan of AppSumo. I've been using it for a few years, and sometimes you have really, really good software, which, you bought it and you can see in a few years they grow so much. And sometimes there are software that, you buy something, you don't really hear anything from them. I'm looking at the reviews they got so far, because obviously the deal was here for a few days, and so far they've only got 22 reviews. And obviously, when it comes to SEO, especially the content side, I'm always trying to avoid any tools that kind of create content or things like that for you. I'm not saying that this does, I'm not sure exactly specifically what they do. I can see they do some sort of keyword difficulty. They score your content, something which something like Yoast already does. So yeah, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I'll leave it in the hands of everyone else, obviously, just to try it for themselves.
No one's commented on that yet, I don't think. Hello, Paul. Welcome back.
Hello. Sorry, slight emergency at home, but it's all sorted now. So
okay, you don't need to go.
No, everything's fine now. Good. Yeah, highly professional there.
That's all right.
So where did we get to? Was it similar content on AppSumo by any chance?
Yeah, well, we talked about almost. I mean, I haven't talked about 25% off Malcar or Manicam Premium Lifetime for $20. What's that?
$20. So have any of you used Manicam before? all.
No. And it's
No?
only for users who already have ManyCams. Okay. No.
Oh,
so
it's some kind of upgrade, is it, of some sort?
yeah, it is an upgrade. So that is a
Mhm.
bit deceptive. No. So that.
Yeah. I mean, what ManyCam is a piece of software that allows you to turn multiple. It basically allows you to turn multiple tabs or screens or different elements from your computer into one stream. So if we were doing a show like this and I had, a picture, for instance, the WP Builds background or something, and I wanted to record it for my course, if I had a course or something, I could do something like this and put that over there and then flick to a screenshot or then flick to a different person. So it's kind of like for when you're recording stuff, you can, without having to, you can do a lot less editing. You can do a one take recording, or you might do your own live stream, and you might have a bunch of different graphics that you want to show on the screen, rather than just like, oh, hang on a minute, I'll just share my screen and then we go there, and it's a bit clunky. You can nicely fade between different elements on your computer and stuff there. So I'm not sure what the deal is. If it's just an upgrade deal, then obviously that's a very small amount of people affected there. But anyway,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so we'd normally skip over to the security bit because it's kind of boring and repetitive every week. So we don't really need to know that a bunch of things have been hacked and then they're getting fixed and everything. That just seems to be how it goes. So we're going to move to the part of the show that I think we should probably spend the most time on, even though we've already been going for like 47 minutes already. So the community section. So the first item in here is No Stress WordPress 2.0. Dave Foy has a live masterclass. So, Piccia.
Yes, I just want to say that I always watch Dave's masterclasses, even though, because he has a way of explaining things that is so incredibly clear that I actually learn how to explain to other people. Because it's kind of what I do as well. When I do courses, so I'm like a sponge for whatever Dave puts out, because also I am bound to learn something about WordPress, because I did take WordPress courses when I first started, which is a while ago now, but there's always something more to learn that you learn via Dave. So even if you think you know WordPress really well, I am sure that you would find something. And what I really like about his sales page, also every sales page that Dave Foy puts out, look at it and I save them sometimes. And this one is basically the one that's advertising the masterclass. What I love about it is that he says you will learn this, blah, blah, and then you will also get an opportunity to get a special entry price to his course, which is it is why he's doing the masterclass. But it's so classy to actually say it, because so many people don't say it, and then you get into a sort of an hour long kind of sales pitch, which his masterclass is not. You get 1 hour of masterclass, and then he say, and you can get into my course. And the way he's sort of done the promotional page for the masterclass is in itself a masterpiece. So yes, I'll be in there, and I'm sure that I will learn so much, both on how to structure my own masterclasses and on WordPress, which is what the main thing is. He structures thought in a way that makes everything much clearer, even things that you thought you knew.
Yeah, he's absolutely. I echo that. If you are not even interested in the product, just go and see how it should be done.
Exactly.
How to put a product out there, how to build an audience, how to build loyal followers who love your product because it's awesome, how to make sure your product is awesome, and then how to promote it and hopefully make loads of sales. Anchen, are you familiar with Dave Foy? Is he in your? Yeah, he'd be a great person to have next time you're doing one of the WP Great Summit. He's a good speaker.
Definitely on my list. No, definitely. And I'm also very excited about the masterclass. I've been actually thinking of getting it because I think it's such a good tool to help with teammates. Like, he can explain it so much better than I would ever be able to to get people,
Yeah,
virtual
exactly,
assistants or designers. So having that and
to
as part
train
of your
people.
onboarding.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, next on the list,
absolutely.
we've got WordCamp Europe 2020, call for speakers. So does somebody want to be part of the iconic 2020 WordCamp Europe as a speaker? I would love to. I'm a bit scared about that kind of prospect. I've never spoken at a WordCamp. Anchen, I know you have. You've organized them. Piccia, same with you. What do you think about this?
I will apply. I applied last year and I wasn't selected. So I'm curious. And I was then when I went there, I realized that there were hardly any design talks. I specified that to me, a talk on Gutenberg is not a design talk. It's Gutenberg is a tool. So there was one talk on what variable fonts and maybe another two, not that many. So I'm wondering, I will ask them whether they design is something that they're interested in. But then if anybody wants to apply, my suggestion would be the suggestion I'm making to myself: find out first what they really want, because there's a list of subjects, topics that they want covered. But I think that you have to go to them and actually ask, and they will tell you, okay, you know what, accessibility is what's more interesting for us, things like that. So if anyone's interested, I think I then did go. I went to WordCamp Europe anyway because I wanted to go anyway, and there was a part of me that was really relieved that a big part actually that I was relieved that I wasn't speaking, because when you're speaking, it's very hard to not think about anything else, especially because WordCamp Europe, people, is a very big conference. Like, it's really big. It's not like you're still among friends. It still feels intimate in a way, but it's big. You may be in a room that has holds 1,000 people in it. And if you haven't spoken before, it's intimidating. I haven't had a look at the call for speakers, but I applied recently for WordCamp Asia, and they do say that they want experienced speakers because it's scary. So it's number one, be prepared. Then make sure that you give them ask them what they want, because they want people to submit topics. That it's not like a guessing game. Ask them so you're sure that you are proposing something that they're really interested in. And then the third thing, consider just going for the fun of it, because I'm going, whatever happens, I'm going, because I loved Berlin. Porto is a wonderful place. I want to do a road trip, and then I want to go skating around there. So I'm going. But if anybody wants to speak, I'm going to give them my same advice, and I will talk to them first, not after. I will talk to them and say, what would you like to hear?
That's great advice.
So who's applying? Who's applying out of us?
I might. I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
You
Are
can
you
do
applying,
it.
Anchen?
You can do it.
I would apply
Yeah,
for
of course you
maybe a workshop, or maybe, so I'm trying to get the word. I actually worked there this year, but it was like a little stand-up, like a coffee. Do anyone remember what it was called? And it was like a small group. So they had a speaker, but
Yeah.
it was maybe like 10 to 20 people that came. It was like supposed to be like a coffee talk, something.
Like the one on
like that.
governance. Yeah, the coffee talk is like the one on governance. I want to.
Yes, and so it was very similar to a meetup. So small group, and it was really interesting topics. I would say it would be more niche type of topics. They had some on meditation and some on like a silent retreat. So something like that might be a good start. And the workshops as well. It's very long. It's 3 hours, but it's also a smaller group. And if you know your stuff, I think doing something like that could be great. I would not want to do that big old thing. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I think if I applied, I'd want to be on the biggest stage possible, and that which sounds massively big-headed, and it sort of is. But I know that I like applying for things that are way in the future, and then thinking that will never happen, and then, oh my gosh, it's today, and having a meltdown. But then the rush afterwards is, even though I've only done a few talks, actual live ones. Alex came to one in London just the other day. Thanks for coming, mate.
No.
And I was absolutely terrified of that one. And I know, Anchen, you've told me before that you get really nervous about the talks, but you just keep doing it. And so that's what I just think. If there's an opportunity like that, I'd probably just go, maybe I can just get on the biggest stage and then it doesn't matter how it goes. I did it. It doesn't even matter if it was disaster.
No, you would make everybody cry again, Paul.
Yeah, no, you'd be cool.
That'd be the plan.
Transform. Yeah, he did do it. So yeah, sure you could pull it off again. Can I just say that where Paul, while you were away, we had a look at the comments because there's a comment, for instance, from, if I may, Leo Mendo is saying that he's doing a live stream workshop tonight at Word Up Brighton. And there's a link to the YouTube channel, and he says that there's a superstar from afar. So it's quite intriguing, and I thought we should mention it, given that we're talking about talk.
Did he not say anything else? That's
what I'm saying. Superstar from afar that we will recognize.
Obviously someone who's got a big head and wants to go on a big stage at WordCamp Europe 2020.
Oh my God, is that you?
No, but yeah, it is actually. But it's with Nathan.
I didn't know. So you're doing it Word Up Brighton this evening?
But streaming. So we'll be streamed to the WordPress meetup, and really, I'm just. So, I mean, when Nathan goes to Alton Towers, you've got to take your opportunities because he normally does it.
So what are you going to be talking about?
About live streaming, about concepts
live
of live streaming.
Okay.
So I'll talk about today, that this was the first time I pressed the button sort of thing, but also, the benefits of it and how you can walk out of the live stream in the middle of a session and still just about okay.
I find live stuff so much easier, especially if you're a perfectionist. Live is the best because you know that you can't edit it, which is great. Because when I edit stuff, it takes me so long. So I love it. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
I find that people are quite forgiving these days because everybody does lives.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's kind of talking about how. You need good audio, but the video isn't as much quality. So there's probably a lot of people, well, out of the 19 people watching this now, there's probably, 15 of those are just listening, and even the people that might watch it, because normally at least around 500 to 600 people watch in some way these WP build streams. Well, I bet a lot of people just put it on as audio in the background because you don't need to see our faces doing this. It's normally, it's more useful for us to see each other's faces as the conversation goes along. So it's just chatting through some of those things, really. Moving on, I know we've been going 58 minutes. Hopefully there isn't a 1 hour limit on this, but we're probably not going to get the chance to talk about these articles in great detail. But I'll skim through the one here. GoDaddy launches e-commerce hosting plan in partnership with WooCommerce. So the interesting thing about this article is if you look on the GoDaddy website at the new hosting plan that they've got, is that if you are, let's say you're a fan of GoDaddy, there are fans of GoDaddy out there. Clearly, there are hundreds of thousands of fans, or maybe even millions of fans of GoDaddy out there. Huge, massive company. I was at a cricket match a few months ago, and they were the key sponsor with their name on the pitch and everything on the TV coverage. So they've teamed up with Automatic. Yeah, they've teamed up with Automatic. If you buy their hosting plan, specially designed for WooCommerce, then you get a whole bunch of WooCommerce add-ons for free included in that, including some of the really juicy ones like pre-orders, product add-ons. What have we got? Product CSV import, and then two of the ones that really caught my eye, memberships and subscriptions. So if you're a user of something like Cart Flows, then you can use it with those sort of things to do really nice sales pages. So here's the thing, awesome deal, But this is a special relationship, from what I understand, between GoDaddy and Automatic that makes that deal possible. So that just reminds me of all this kind of financial stuff in the WordPress space, whether it's this company buying that one, Salesforce investing $300 million in Automatic, and now a product with a huge company that has a mixed reputation out there, having a special deal that allows it to give away a whole bunch of add-ons for WooCommerce that cost in total way more than the hosting package it costs itself. So awesome for GoDaddy customers. It does feel slightly unfair in the marketplace to have these two giants with so much money teaming up to, make a very attractive product, and surely they'll have a lot of money to market it as well. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Anything
to
say on
me,
that? Yeah.
well, I'm just going to say one thing and I'll shut up. But to me, the slight issue that comes from this is that it's all too close for my liking to the open source project, and kind of casting a shadow, because all this money that's thrown, that goes somehow via Automatic. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I find it, as you were saying earlier, if you were anyone else, maybe, but also because WooCommerce belongs to Automatic, and Automatic is still kind of in charge really of the project. It's not that comfortable to me. And this is a much bigger kind of worms that we won't open here necessarily, but it does raise, I think, a few issues, a few flags.
It definitely feels like if you were Shopify, you'd all be reading. If you were the Shopify board of directors, you'd all be reading the memo about this. Because it's almost like a package where you get all the stuff that you would need to run a pretty complicated WooCommerce store. So yeah, great deal if you're a GoDaddy customer.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyone else got anything to say on that, or prefer to legally stay silent?
Silence.
I mean, I'm not really a big GoDaddy fan for different reasons, but to be honest, it is a good saving, especially, obviously, since they acquired, if I'm not wrong, Managed WP again. If you manage something without like backups, you get all that for free. And same here, no matter what issues you have or you had in the past, you really can't ignore saving, I don't know, 500 quid a month or even more in extensions, depending what you need, by paying £15 every month. So yeah, for those who are probably building a lot of e-commerce websites, even myself, I would probably give it another go. I'll probably recommend it to clients. But yeah, I don't know. It really depends, for someone who has no idea what GoDaddy is, like you see a lot of ads this day. Oh, do you want to build a website? Wix and all sorts of other providers, they can easily get, I don't know, bought into this offer, because it is a really good offer. I still don't know how can they make any money out of this, selling it at such a low price. I mean, £20 a month. I think, after renew, £20 a month, considering you're getting,
it's crazy,
so many extensions.
Probably around 10 to 15.
Expensive one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you won't need all of them, but you'll probably need at least 4 of them if you want to create something a bit like medium size, I don't know, website.
Yeah, I think where it makes people slightly uncomfortable who are more in the know about these sort of things is that they don't need to make any money out of this. It's not when you've got as much money as these organizations have got, that's, looking at trying to pay the bills and put food on the table for your family is
well,
not,
yeah, but in the same
not a big
time,
thing.
if they don't need to make any money, it makes you wonder, why have they changed? The renewal used to be 50% on WooCommerce, and now there is no discount on renewal. So if they don't, if they can afford to give all this for free, obviously it's not for free, but still, it's just my opinion. But obviously that's a totally different topic.
It is. So here's something we could put out there. With that $300 million from Salesforce, how about bring back the 50% discount on renewals for WooCommerce products? That would make it. Can you imagine that? Something going the other way for once would be really nice. Anyway, I want to move on to the final community item, which is an article by let me just, is it Juana Philip? Is that, have I said that correctly? I think I have.
Yes.
Who is from a company called Pixel Grade, and this is probably for anyone who's still left on the stream after we've been talking for so long, is probably my favorite article in this week's pieces. It's called Media Coverage in WordPress Should Take Another Route. Now, Juana is a content writer. She's done stuff for all sorts of different things within the WordPress space, within government space, and she works for, or is a founder, I'm not sure, of a company called Pixel Grade, who have a bunch of themes and are also, as far as I know, a kind of agency as well. So she's very frustrated because this is a really, really big article, and it actually took me a few times to read it to fully understand it. In summary, she's really frustrated that there are so many junk articles out there talking about different themes, different plugins, and giving them, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 reviews, or comparing them with another theme or another plugin and saying this one's better than that one. And then obviously there's an affiliate link at the end there that goes through to make the author of that particular article some money. So the problem that she's got with that, we seem to have lost Piccia. Are you still there, Piccia? You're back.
I don't know what happened.
And the problem is that as a company that does have a product or a writer that writes about products, it feels like the marketplace is completely flooded with unauthentic, is that a word? Unauthentic articles promoting products and services and plugins and WordPress stuff. And she feels it's really got to a ridiculous point now where where's all the authenticity in the market gone? Is it all about getting sales and affiliate fees now in the WordPress space? So you go from 1 minute to seeing these deals, with GoDaddy with this huge money, and then you've got the smaller companies having to have very open affiliate deals to make sure they can get as much coverage as possible. So it's about authenticity. So I don't have a product. I've never had a product. I know, Alex, you don't. Anchen, I know you kind of had a very productized service and you've run summits and stuff like that. Piccia, you've got a product in a very busy space. I wondered what your thought about that.
I completely agree with the article, because it's like, I think it's happened to every one of us, that you're looking for something, you're looking for a review, and then you read something and actually it's not a review. It's just someone who has it's like a press release, if you want more. Promotional press release. It's an advertorial, but it's definitely not a review. So I'd much rather have a proper review. There are some, and risk somebody saying this should be done in a different way, and then being able to go to them and say, yeah, okay, thanks, that's good feedback, I'll change it. But I completely agree with it. It is inauthentic, and it is an issue because we all have friends that have products and that we are affiliates for. So my strategy is to only promote affiliation for products that I really do love. Like now, for instance, I am a brand ambassador for Cloudways, which is similar. And it's only because I've used them for ages and I still use them. And I'm able to also say, yeah, that's not working very well, but I know they're working on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, their support stuff and things like that. And I always have an answer. But otherwise, I would not. If I had if you can't be behind a product and really be honest in the review, you should not have the affiliate link on your, don't write it, please. It's just such a waste of time. And it's fundamental. It's not, I think dishonest is a big word, but at least it's not transparent, let's say. It's not call it something else. Don't call it a review. At least do that, I think. But basically, yeah, completely agree.
I think it's even worse when they actually try to hide the links, because I've seen some articles where from the beginning it would tell you, hey guys, look, it is a review, but of course, because I need to make a living, there are affiliate links. But you can go either way. But sometimes you will see articles, where you read like 10 minutes of it, and by the end you really don't learn anything out of it, apart from one person saying, well, if it would be me, I would go for this option without actual proven data to back up that decision. And of course, behind it, there will be an affiliate link. So, but it is getting harder because obviously all these big, huge companies, they do have a huge rankings in Google and all that. So probably companies, this is the same like GoDaddy. You want to promote yourself, it's all marketing. You would go to the right person, you would probably pay them or something, because surely it's not just an affiliate. Surely behind the scenes it's probably more than this in terms of monetizing this partnership and making it look like, hey, you're kind of like unbiased or something like that. So but yeah, for smaller companies out there, it's getting a little bit harder. So that's why sometimes you do have everything. You might have a company which starts with a small Facebook group with a really, really small fan base, which just spreads out the words. I think this is probably a good way to market yourself these days.
We have Ona in the comments, Paul. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I didn't see that she made a comment, but I know she joined the group today.
Yeah. So she says, yeah, an advertorial that is not quite honest. A proper review means to put the hard work and dig into the product, not just throw out words to rank better in Google. Affiliate is wonderful if you're authentic in your coverage, which is exactly the way, it's exactly the way it should be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny part in the article. She's talking about, imagine a theme and this kind of statement that you see all the time. I'll read some of it out. The insert a name theme is modern yet simple, efficient yet flexible for bloggers and publishers, could work for magazine and lifestyle websites. It is full of customization options which can help you create several layouts or out of one. So how many times have you read that? Just all the time. It's light yet full of features. How does that work? It's just kind of, it's just looking for one statement in there that someone's going to go, yeah, that sounds legit, and here's a deal, and I get a bonus from this person as well if I click this link and buy it. So yeah, it's definitely I think that the cream will rise to the top in time. I think that authenticity always wins. We're going through this crazy stage. Everyone tries this, then they try that. And then it's content marketing at the moment. And as soon as content marketing became the thing, it was only a matter of moments before content just appeared everywhere. And, that was the next thing. As soon as the competition, I feel, gets to the point where it's not even worth it for the people to create these rubbish articles, then the authentic voices will come out again. But for the moment, I think it is a shame because it makes it really murky for people who don't know what they're buying. So
yeah,
he also changes the way you actually find those reviews, because again, same as everyone else, you would probably go on Google, but to be honest, in the last year or so, whenever I needed something, I would go on WP Builds or other groups and search for that specific product to see people who have actually used it, what they think, rather than someone writing about it and they probably never used the product. So that's why focusing on this smaller niche market of people who are actually using it. I mean, I know when I watched your video, Paul, initially, was it like 2 years ago, I was sold into Cloudways. So obviously that's the whole idea. You want people like ambassadors to not just promote this, but not necessarily make a review, but actually use it, because if they're actually using it, day by day life, that means it's good. So
that's what sold me as well. So yeah, definitely.
Anchen, anything you want to add on that as a promoter of
it's similar to what Alex said. When I first read the article, I was a little bit confused because I didn't exactly know what she was talking about, because I've never really seen these articles. And then I realized it's because I never search. I go to WP Tavern, I go to WP Beginner or to WP Builds. I go to the reputable sites first, and then what I then realized is, but yeah, there's this huge opportunity actually out there, because if you are authentic, if you do something different, like the videos or the real life, what you're really doing with it, and screenshots and telling a story, using a case study, how you've actually used it, not just like all these things, then it's actually, it's like I said, a huge opportunity, because there are all these crap competitions. So yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to wrap up the last three things super quick. Nathan normally goes through these couple of items, and WP Build's podcast last week was called "Are We Leaking Clients?" I think it's another clickbait title by Nathan and David there. So now that we've acquired WP Builds, we'll put an end to that, honestly. I haven't really acquired WP Builds. That is actually a joke. And it's a follow-up to their Marketing Funnels Don't Exist piece, which was really super interesting. So if you haven't heard the Marketing Funnels Don't Exist from the previous week, listen to that one, then listen to Are We Leaking Clients? We've got a section called Jobs. In Jobs, we've got one job from Leo's company, Sotic, and they are looking for a software engineer in Cardiff. So their website is sotic.net, which is SOTIC.net. So go have a look at there if you're a software engineer in Cardiff. And Leo is the person who is doing the live stream to the Brighton WordPress meetup tonight. So I'll be seeing him later. And then there was a section called Not WordPress, but Useful Anyway. And I think that we'll just skip that section today because we've been going on for quite a long time. So I think what I'll probably finish up with, has anybody got anything they wanted to add into the news briefly? Nope. Excellent.
Well,
so in that case, go on. I knew you must have something.
No, just that I am still selling the UX course, which is called UX for Everyone, and it's about to go up. So if anyone's interested, you can buy it anytime, and I'm saying it only because it's going to go up very soon. So just go to the designforgeeks.com and you'll find it. That's it. I shut up now because Leo is blaming me that it's over an hour. So
yeah, Leo's going to say, keep it to an hour or something.
No, he's just said it.
Yeah, well, if you get the two of us, me and you, Piccia, I think you put us on.
It's a disaster.
It's going to go for a long time, isn't it? So, Alex, can I ask you what's going on this week? Anything exciting? Are you reading something cool, watching something cool, or
to be honest, not reading, not watching? Sometimes I need a break from the whole digital stuff. I've been going to some networking events recently, and well, with a background in digital marketing, one thing I probably learned is, people buy people. So sometimes we do get caught up in the whole digital world, and we're looking and we're thinking, oh, okay, the market gets saturated, there are not enough clients. But the reality is, since I started a while back to do some local networking events, it's a lot easier, because it's a lot easier to sell something when in front of the other person rather than just do it online. So I probably get half of my clients just referrals. So this is what I've been doing. Sometimes you need to take a break, even though you do this kind of stuff. You're kind of like a fan of digital marketing, all good, it's good. But sometimes it's good to go to the traditional marketing and meet some genuine people, and obviously they, it's going to be easier to make that sell. So this is what I've been focusing on.
Cool. Anchen, what are you up to this week?
I binged on some digital marketer workshops. So they had the what's it called, the Blitz, marketing Blitz.
Is it Ryan Dice? His stuff.
It was like an elite workshop where they it's like a launch, but it's like just in a week. So you, like, for a week you're everywhere. You're like on all channels, paid advertising, and it was actually like the way it was done was really good, and it's actually something that you can offer because it's such a short, sharp thing. So that was good. And I was reading Clockwork, so I finished that, and reading The Alter Ego now from Todd Herman. So yeah.
Nice. Personally, I'm mainly playing on my Nintendo Switch, The Witcher 3, which I'm. If any clients are watching, I'm also doing your work as well. Don't worry about that. Quite addicted to that game, and it's really, really awesome. I play that till the. And I'd say also I've tried to start the keto diet after one of my friends said they were doing it, because you can not have to exercise and apparently get slimmer. So I'm going to try that. I've been doing it for 3 days, so probably by next week that'll be another fad out of the window and a whole bunch of ingredients from Amazon in the bin. But we'll see. And obviously tonight I'm doing a live stream with Leo to the Brighton WordPress meetup. So I'm looking forward to that. So lots of streaming today. And I think that's everything. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for covering me. I had to go and sort out an animal emergency on the phone. Everything is fine. No animals were harmed. Everything's fine. It's just
I was going to ask about the chickens.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They're fine.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear they're fine.
And thank you, everyone, for watching today and all the panel guests today. Alex Calinov from Brilliant Digital, Anchen Roux from Simply Digital Design, and Piccia Neri from Design for Geeks. All right. Catch you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye.